So we're gonna come all the way down into our backs. All right, so we're all meeting together on our backs on our mat. Keep your blocks closed, both of them. If you don't have blocks, a book would work or a pillow. So we're gonna start on the right. Actually, let's start the left side because you can see that better. So we're gonna do a half happy baby. Go ahead, take the right foot on the floor. So the sole of the foot is on the floor, knee pointing up. Now the left foot lifts up, half happy baby, grab the sole of the foot. So the sole of the left foot is facing the sky. And this block is gonna go underneath the top of the left thigh. So you're gonna have some pressing action of that top of the left thigh into the block on the left side. Flex those left toes. You can take your right hand and press down the top of the right leg. If you want a deeper pose, you can unbend the right knee and let the foot fall to the floor. It's definitely a deeper pose if you want that. Stay here. Keep flexing those left toes. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. Take a few more breaths at your own pace. Really press the top of the left thigh down into the block if you have it, or the pillow, or the book. Now we're gonna bend the right knee if it's not bent right now. So the right sole of the foot to the floor. Cross the left foot over the right thigh for lying figure 4 pose. You can interlace the hands underneath the right thigh, pick the right foot off the floor. Another option is interlacing the fingers and bring your hands to the top of the right shin. Slightly deeper pose. Flex both feet. Maybe rock a little side to side gently. From here, we're gonna let both feet fall over to the right side. So we're still in this figure 4 pose. We're just gonna gently tilt the right knee down to the right side and the left sole of the foot might come down to the floor. The left knee is still lifted. You can open up the left arm to left side and the goalpost arm. You might wanna grab the left foot with the right hand or the left ankle and look over to the left. Maybe close your eyes. From here, we're gonna lift up that right foot, come onto the sole of the right foot, so back through figure 4. Oh, and then we're gonna let that left knee fall to the left side. Excuse me, Ted, I need to see what I'm doing. There you go. So your knees are tilted to the left, they're kind of fanned out, and the top of the left foot is on top of that right knee. Oh, my kitty wants attention. Maybe your arms are out either side. You can always look a little to the right and get a deeper pose in the neck. And go ahead and lift back up. Prepare for the other side. So block comes over to the right side. You can place the left sole of the foot down and lift up the right, half happy baby. Press the top of the right thigh into a block. Sole of the right foot comes face the ceiling. Grab the outside of the right foot with the right hand. You can keep that left knee bent or extend the leg to the floor for a deeper pose. Open the chest. Maybe you lift the chest up and tuck the left shoulder a little bit underneath here. Keep drawing the toes down towards your shin. Maybe you close your eyes, take a few breaths. Keep pressing that right thigh down into the block. Nice. From here, release that pose, cross the right foot over the left thigh, flex both feet, lying figure 4, interlace the hands underneath the left thigh, or again on top of that left shin, right below the knee. Hug it in as close as it feels good for you. Flexing both feet once again, close the eyes. Two more breaths. And now again, we let the feet fall, the right foot fall to the left side. You can open up the right arm to right side in that goalpost arm pose. Maybe you like to grab that right ankle with the left hand as you look over to the right side. Maybe feel a gentle stretch in that right hip. Look up, slowly lift that left knee off the floor and let the knees fall to the right side. That right foot is still hooked on the outer part of the left knee. You can have both arms open. Maybe you can take the right hand down. Just bring a little bit of weight to that right hip, opening it up a little bit. Take 4 deep breaths. Bring those knees back up, undo the foot, knees into chest, rock a little side to side. And now we start to rock forward and back. If that feels good for your spine, do 3 or 4 rocks. And we're gonna meet in Navasana. So don't let the feet touch the floor. We want one of our blocks between our hands, the wide way. Now we're gonna kick the feet out in front of us. Reach the arms out in front of us. Inhale, exhale, take it in. Inhale, press it out. Exhale in. 10 more. Out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Whew, hold it in. Nice. Move the block to the side. We're gonna rock and roll one more time and meet in Malasana. So take a couple rocks. Ooh, didn't quite get it there yet. Malasana is squat pose. So toes are turned out to the sides, and whether or not you really like, or I guess need to use the block in Malasana, I encourage you to use it because it makes this pose, the pose we're about to do today, a lot nicer. So I encourage you to sit on the block. And usually in Malasana here, our feet are about 45-degree angle facing forward and out to the side. Now what I want you to do today though is press into the toes, lift the heels, and have the heels kind of face more towards each other. So the feet are further away, pointing away from each other even more. More open hips. Bring the hands together. Press your fingertips together. Palms spread apart to get it nice and wide in the shoulders. Let the chin come towards your chest. Shake your head out no a couple times. You can either stay here, exactly where we are, or you can open up and find a bind to the right, wrapping the right arm in front of the right leg, left arm behind you. You have a strap and you like to use it for this, go right ahead. Other side, left arm in front of the left shin. Look over to the right. Take a couple breaths. And release. Heel toe, the feet. So the toes are pointing in front of you, heels normally pointing in back of you. Lean forward, get off of that block, forward fold, Uttanasana. Start to pedal out one heel at a time, or one knee at a time. Just starting to get a little bit of length in one leg. Let go of the head, nice and heavy. Give your neck a break here. Now press into both feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up and rise. Press down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Lift the toes up off the floor. Inhale, reach. Press the toes down into the floor, forward fold, Uttanasana. Again, pedal out one knee at a time. And from here, we're gonna grab both of our blocks. I'm gonna reach back, grab that. And to start, what we're gonna do next, this next little flow, we're gonna take the left foot and step it back. Come into a low lunge with one block on either side. Now you don't need to use the blocks if you don't have them. You can just bring your hands to hips, interlace the hands, press down on your top right thigh. We start by bringing the left hand to left block next to our hip, reach up and over in a side bend, right arm over right ear. Let that left shoulder drop down towards the floor. If you have it lifted, you're just kind of falling into the left shoulder. You're not really getting a nice stretch here across the chest. Bring the right hand down to right side on the block if you have it, and left arm reaches over towards the right side. Look up towards that left elbow. Left hand comes down to the block. We're gonna just inch those right toes forward a little bit. And then we're gonna straighten the right leg and sit back towards that back hip. Flex the right toes up towards the sky. Half split pose. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the chin and look forward. Exhale to round the spine, chin to chest. A couple more times. Inhale, open the chest and chin. Exhale, round. Inhale. And exhale. Start to come back onto your right foot. Now, you're still on your blocks on either side, so walk the blocks up to line the front right foot. Tuck the back left toes, lift that left knee off the floor. Now, I want you to take the right toes, and I'll show you here. Point the right toes to the right side of your room. And you're gonna start to fall onto that left side of the left foot. So it feels a little awkward, right? You're gonna have a block on either side. Maybe you feel confident here and you reach the right arm up. And down. Maybe lower down a little bit into that left hip. Having that left hip come closer to the floor. Come back up, tuck the back left toes, right toes face forward. Blocks to either side. Take a vinyasa, plank pose, high to low, upward facing to downward facing. Slowly walk the feet to hands. Inhale to halfway. Exhale, fold. Grab both of your blocks. Once again, this time the right foot steps back. Low lunge. Block on either side. Block a little closer to the hips than the foot. I always like to keep my back right toes tucked. It helps my knee stay stable a little bit here. We're starting with the right hand on the right block. Reach up and over with that left arm. Roll the left hand down to the left block. Right arm reaches over right ear. Nice, right hand comes down. Inch those left toes forward. Lift the hips up and back. Start to straighten that left leg. It doesn't have to be totally straight. If your knee is super bent, that's totally fine. All you want to do is feel a hamstring stretch in the back of the left leg. Start by inhaling, lifting the chin and chest, looking forward. Exhale to round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, look forward, open the chest. Exhale, round the spine. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Nice. Start to come down to that left foot, bend the left knee once again. Blocks come closer to that left foot. Tuck the back right toes, lift the right knee off the floor, point those left toes towards the left side of your room. And this is where it gets that tricky part again. We want the right heel to fall to the right side, that awkward stretch, right? You should feel it all down the outer right hip. Maybe if you feel confident, lift the left arm up to the sky. Maybe you look up. If you feel super confident here, maybe you start to lower that hip towards the floor to the even deeper stretch in the IT band. It's okay to sit in the joint of the right elbow and the shoulder here. Start to come down, lower the left hand, tuck the back right toes. Blocks move to either side, step the left foot back. Plank pose, high to low push-up. Upward facing or downward facing, and then downward facing. Stay in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread all 10 fingers. Maybe you walk the feet a little bit wider for some more stability. Let the hips fall side to side gently. Find stillness. Deep breath in, lift the heels. Exhale, drop the heels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. 3 more times, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, and inhale. Heels drop, look forward, hop, step, or jump. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Slightly bend the knees, sweep the arms up to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, sit down into chair pose, Uttanasana. Start by turning the thumbs to point to each other, and then turn the thumbs down so palms are facing away. Just feel how that feels in your shoulders. Maybe you feel a little tight here. Now we turn the thumbs up and away from each other, palms facing up. Release the shoulders up and away from each other. Sit back a little deeper. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Step one foot back from the other. We're doing Asana B, high to low. You can always modify high to low with knees down. And we meet in downward facing. We take the right foot, step it forward, set up for warrior one pose. Lower that left heel down to the floor, lift the arms. Reach up nice and high, shoulders lift. Now just lower the shoulders down. And lower down, high to low, tuck the back left foot. You can modify knees down, upward facing to downward facing. Other side, left foot steps forward. Right heel lowers down behind you. Inhale, lift up, warrior one. Spread all 10 fingers. Lift up high, shoulders lower. And high to low, lower down, tuck the back right toes. Upward facing to downward facing. Take a nice breath. And slowly walk both feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, Uttanasana. Sit down into your chair, sweep the arms up to rise. Uttanasana. Maybe your toes start to lift. Move the block for you. So you're really putting your weight down into your heels and not into your knees and toes. Press into the feet, lift up to rise, inhale, and exhale to stay. So suck in your belly button towards the spine. Lower the shoulders down, tuck the tailbone underneath, But again, like I always say, don't press your hips forward or put your booty out behind you. Find that middle ground. Find stability. Maybe you like to stand with your feet further apart. And close your eyes here. Catch your breath. Remember that Ujjayi breath. Heel to the feet so they're underneath the hips. Inhale, lift the arms up. And the right foot's gonna step back for warrior one pose. So everyone always says hips face forward for warrior one, and that's more or less true. But if since our right foot is back, if that right hip is a little more open than the left, that's totally fine. Your hips are never gonna be totally aligned in this pose. Arms are lifted. Let's take this opportunity to come into a humble warrior so arms can come down beside you, interlace behind you, peel the chest open with an inhale, and lower the chest down towards the left thigh. Look back towards your right heel. Press into the left foot, start to rise. Warrior one, but tuck the back right toes, find your high lunge. Now, if you're in your high lunge and you decide that you're kind of on a tightrope here, where the left foot and right foot are too aligned, you can come down, heel to the left foot a little to the left, or right foot to the right, just to widen your stance. See, that kind of messes me up though sometimes. Press into the left foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower the chest with the arms down and back. Now here's your opportunity to get loud at your house. Inhale, reach up, sweep up. Exhale, sigh of relief. Lowering down. Starting to gain a little bit of volume. Inhale, reach up. A little bit louder. Exhale, down. One more time, make it nice and loud. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Nice. Stay here for a second, lowering the chest down onto that left thigh. Bring the hands down to the mat, fingertips. Hop that right foot a little closer to the left. So you're still in a lunge, but it's shorter. Now we're gonna press down to that left foot and start to lift that back right leg for standing split. And then we try to come into warrior three. Maybe start with your hands at heart center. Maybe airplane arms by your sides, palms facing down. And very gently, we're gonna land in warrior two pose. So hips are open, arms are open, reaching forward and back. Take a moment to find your stance. I'll move a little back on my mat here. Left knee is pointing forward. Try not to let that left knee fold in towards the right side. Strong arms. We're gonna inhale, straighten both legs and reach the arms up. Exhale, reach forward and back, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, inhale, reach. This time, instead of warrior two, we're coming down to triangle pose. So we're gonna reach that left arm forward with that left knee more or less straight, doesn't have to be totally straight. And let the left hand come down to your left shin, ankle, block, whatever feels good. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. The main purpose of this pose is to open the chest, as well as getting that nice hamstring stretch in that left side. You can play with your perspective, looking up towards your right thumb, or down to your left hand. Let's come into a revolve triangle. So you definitely want your block here if you have one. Your right hand comes down to a block. I like to have my block on the right side of my left foot here. Open the chest, the left side of your arm, reach that left arm up to the sky. This is a good idea to bring that left knee into a bend if it's not already. You can do it without if it feels okay, but why not give your hamstring a little rest here. Nice, lower the left hand down. And we're coming back into warrior two. And we're gonna let the hands come down, move the block aside, vinyasa, high to low. We meet in downward facing dog. We take 4 breaths to stay in downward dog. Press into the fingers, lift the hips high, sink the heels low. Couple more breaths. Look forward, just walk the feet forward. You can always switch that out for a jump if you like to jump forward. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Let's take a gorilla here. So we're sliding our palms underneath our feet. This is a really good opportunity to learn about hand washing too. Maybe remember to do that after class today. Press the toes down into the wrists. Try to lift the tailbone up. Even if you have really big bends in the knees, you'll still really feel it if you lift the tailbone up towards the sky. Let the head drop down between the shoulders. Play with your balance here. Release the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. And the knees, sweep the arms up to rise, standing pose. And hands to heart center. We'll go right into the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left foot steps back, warrior 1 pose. Hips are again facing more or less forward. Right toes forward, arms are strong, fingertips have energy shooting out of them. Arms fall down by your sides, interlace the opposite way you normally do. Peel the chest open, and chest falls down towards your right thigh. Look back at your left heel. Press into the right foot, start to rise. Now we're setting up for our high lunge. So we can bring the hands down, tuck the back left toes, maybe widen our feet a little bit here, and press up to rise when ready. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, throw them down and back. Inhale to reach. Exhale, throw. A little bit louder here. Inhale, reach up. Audible exhale. 2 more times, so make it worth it. Inhale, reach. Exhale. And let's get all our frustration out. Inhale, reach up. I know we're all pissed in some way. Exhale. I could have been much louder than that if I wanted to be. I'm gonna bring the hands down, step that back left foot a lot closer. We're pressing into the right foot, lifting the back left leg for standing split, which if you're anything like me, it does not look like a split at all, so don't be intimidated by the name. Now we're preparing for warrior 3. Press into the right foot, start to rise. Maybe you point those left toes down. Maybe you come into airplane arms. And land in warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. Arms open, right knee points forward. Again, don't let that right knee sink in. The weird torque on the knee if you do that. Right knees pointing forward. Arms are strong. This pose is a warrior pose. And I think one of the main reasons why is because not only just the stance, how wide you are, taking up space, but you're also looking down that right arm or left arm, focusing on something, finding that drishti, and you're reaching out to get it. So maybe you imagine some kind of goal in front of you. Maybe you imagine some kind of, I don't know, something not so crazy for a goal, maybe something just like peace of mind for now. And we're reaching towards these goals, spreading the arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. Start to straighten the right knee. Exhale, bend, warrior 2. Inhale, lift, straighten. Exhale, bend. Twice more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And now we start to come into triangle pose, Uttanasana. So that right knee stays more or less straight, doesn't have to be totally straight. Right arm lowers down towards the ankle, the shin, a block to either side of that right foot. Left arm lifts. So if you're seeing, and I'll show you what I mean by a closed left shoulder. If you're seeing this happen in your triangle pose, do you see the difference between this on me and this? My left shoulder is almost touching my left ear here. It's basically almost kissing my cheek. So it doesn't matter how low your hand can go if the shoulder is caving in. You can touch on anywhere you want, but you're not getting the full effect. So the higher you bring the arm, maybe you get more of an openness in the shoulder. So don't be afraid or ashamed if your hand is all the way up your shin, or it could be all the way up your thigh. You could do kind of like a side angle here with the right forearm resting on the right thigh. Look up towards the left thumb and down towards the right toes. Go ahead, try your revolve triangle here. Left hand to the block, right arm reaches and look to the right. You can bring a big or little bend into the right knee if there's not one already. Press into the left block. Bless you, Tad. Cats have the cutest sneezes. Reach the right arm up, look up, and right hand comes down. Tuck the back left toes, and you know it, high to low push up. Let's all modify. So I'm sweating. I don't know if it's my heater too high or if I'm just sweating. High to low. Inhale, upward facing. Through tabletop, come to downward facing. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths here and then come into a resting pose. Nice job, lower the knees down to the mat. You can have the knees closed or close together or wide, far apart, touching the toes for child's pose. Reaching the arms forward, opening the chest, resting the forehead down, or maybe you like to look forward and get a little bit of an opening of the upper spine, the cervical spine. Take 5 breaths and stay in child's pose. Nice. Start to come up to tabletop. Since there's a cat here, reminds me we should do some cat cows. Inhale, dip the belly for cow pose. Big back bend. And press for cat. Now keep staying in this pressed cat pose. Walk the knees back a little bit towards the back. Press into the palms, spread the shoulder blades still, and let the hips sink back a little bit. So it looks like child's puppy kind of combo, but you're really feeling a nice stretch across the back. Come back into your tabletop. Now we're gonna start to lean forward. So we're almost in like a modified plank. Engage the core. And tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. We will go a few minutes over 7:15 because of our earlier interruption. Touch the toes together behind you, lift the right leg up. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow, left foot to left side. And here's a great trick that my yoga teacher, David Vendetti, taught me, and I love this modification with the block. When you're in pigeon pose, and I'll try to have it so you can see, grab one of your blocks and make a ramp, kind of like under your groin and under your belly. And part of this block / ramp rests on that right shin. So it shouldn't feel like, too abrasive anywhere. It should feel like a nice rest. Depends on where you are in your hip openers, of course. As you come down onto your forearms, you will feel it start to stick into your belly, which normally, you might think is a bad thing, but it can actually stimulate, health of the organs, digestion, things like that. So don't be afraid of the block sticking into your belly. Of course, if it's painful, that's another story. If you do have another block, I always like to bring it underneath my forehead in pigeon pose, interlacing my fingers around the back of it, forearms kind of gripping the edges, and just breathing here. If you have a block under your forehead, maybe you're rocking and rolling your forehead side to side, giving yourself a little massage. If it feels too much to be all the way down like that, you can always stay uplifted on your arms here. Take 2 more breaths. Nice, and then we're gonna stay for a second. So if you're all the way down, go ahead and come up to where I am on the straight arms. There's a couple things we can do here. I'm gonna take my second block, which you don't need if you don't have it, bring my hand to the block, and I'll show you without it so that you know what I'm doing. I'm gonna reach that left arm behind me. This might look familiar to you. And I'm gonna see if I can lift that left foot off the floor just a few inches. If that feels okay, then maybe keep lifting it, maybe see if I can grab it. Keep your hips facing forward. This pose is not for everybody. Definitely if you already have a lot of flexibility in the hips already built up, definitely that's gonna be helpful for people that already have that flexibility. So again, hips are facing forward. Try not to open that left shoulder too much and look back, because you want your left shoulder facing forward. Slowly release the left foot. And just come onto the right hip, off the block, out of the pose. Bring the feet forward. Come onto your back. Rock a little side to side. Sit up. Swing the feet around behind you for tabletop, and we come into downward dog again to switch sides. Hips lift, downward facing, toes touch behind you. Left leg lifts. Draw the knee to the left elbow and the foot to the right wrist. Tuck the back right toes. Maybe you slide that right knee back. Again, maybe you make your little shelf or your little ramp with your block. So again, you can stay like this, lifting the chest. You can come down into the forearms if that feels good. And again, you can lower the forehead to the block if you have it. Forehead can rock side to side. And breathe here. Take 2 more breaths. Start to come up onto your hands. We're gonna take the left hand, bring it to the center. Hips will face forward. See if you can lift that back right foot a few inches off the floor. If this feels painful in the knee, which it should not, then don't do this pose, okay? You're still getting a nice hip opener in the front of the right hip without grabbing the foot. It just makes it a lot deeper, which you may not need right now. So if you can lift the foot, lift it all the way up. See if you can grab it with the right hand. Now an even deeper pose, if you have this and you're like, I can go further. You might be able to lift the elbow towards the sky and bend the toes down towards your right hip. Definitely a deep pose. Hips face forward. Couple breaths. Slowly release if you have it. Fall into that left hip nice and slow. Move the block away. Let's come into a downward dog just for a moment. Bring the toes together. Lift the right leg nice and high. Open the hip, bend the knee. Maybe make a little circle or two with the right knee. Lower the right foot, other side. Lift that left leg up. Open the hip, bend the knee. Maybe make a few circles. Lower down. Walk the feet to hands. All the way down onto your back. And we're going to take a bridge pose using our block, which I say this every time, is one of my favorite poses. Feet to the floor, knees pointing up, feet hips width distance apart. Press and lift the hips. Block and go underneath between the lower back and the tailbone. Arms by your sides. And if you don't have a block and you don't want to, find something to put underneath you for a little support, maybe you take the energetic version of this pose. Tad likes attention today. It dawned on me the other day that my poor kitties are quarantined for their entire lives. They seem to like it, so. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. And remove the block if you have it, lower all the way down. And let's come into our full happy baby. Feet towards the sky, knees open, rock a little side to side. Maybe find stillness for a moment. And it's about time to find your way to Shavasana, unless you want to do one final pose of your choice. You're in your home, you're doing your thing, so pick whatever you choose. You can always hug the knees into the chest. You can make little circles, massage the lower back. You can sit up and come into half lower of the fish pose, twisting to one side, crossing the foot over the other knee, twisting to the other side. You can take a seated forward fold, flex the toes up. You don't have to touch the toes to find this pose. You can be here. You can be here, wherever you are. And when you're ready, let's all find our way to Shavasana. So you can end with the same pose we started with, which is with that T, remember? The top part of the T goes under your head, lower part, the bottom of that T hits the lower back. You can lay down and find that other block as a pillow. If it's too much, the block won't go directly into the lower back, it'll go a little higher. Arms open. If you have a bolster at home, you can also put a bolster going a long way, in line with the mat, touching your lower back and laying down on it. The feet fall open to the sides, palms facing up. I'm going to take a deep inhale. Open the mouth and jaw, release, exhale. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Nice and slow release. Natural breath. Relax your jaw. Maybe you take your index and middle finger with each hand. You give yourself a little jaw massage on either side. You bring your fingers up to your temples, little temple massage. Maybe you reach your hands back behind you and give yourself a little shoulder massage. It's never as good when you do it yourself, but it's a nice little release. Lower the arms down. Start to bend one knee. Rock onto the opposite side that your knee is lifted off the blocks. Come onto your backs. Roll onto that side once again. Slowly start to push yourself up to a seated position. Easy seat Sukhasana. Relax the shoulders. Maybe let the head fall over to the right shoulder. Lifting the head, letting it fall to the left shoulder. Lift the head, reach the arms, inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you all for joining me today. Thanks for sharing this interesting beginning of the practice, but I hope you enjoyed the rest of it.